The night air was electric with laughter and clinking glasses, but Emma couldn't shake the feeling of being completely out of place. Her friends had promised her a fun, harmless evening, but she now suspected it was more of a public spectacle than a romantic adventure. As she walked into the swanky downtown restaurant, she noticed a subtle tension in the air, like everyone was in on a secret that she wasn't. The flickering candlelight did nothing to calm her nerves, and her heart raced faster with every step. She spotted her date sitting at the end of a table, smiling politely but awkwardly, clearly aware of the setup. Emma's friends had a mischievous glint in their eyes, barely suppressing giggles, while she tried to maintain composure. The waiter approached with a flourish, and the smell of gourmet dishes did little to mask her growing anxiety. Every compliment she received felt rehearsed, every glance felt scrutinized, and the pressure of performing for a crowd gnawed at her. She had been here before, in situations that spiraled into humiliation, and a quiet dread settled in her chest. Despite all of it, a small spark of determination flickered. She refused to be anyone's punchline tonight. Across the table, Daniel adjusted his cufflinks and cleared his throat, a man of commanding presence despite the casual tension in the room. His eyes, sharp yet warm, met hers briefly, and for a moment, Emma felt the swirl of the world around her slow down. Daniel was a single dad, a CEO, someone whose life seemed impossible to compare to her own tangled days of ordinary chaos. Yet there was an honesty in his gaze, a quiet strength that didn't need theatrics to impress. He had arrived early, observing the scene with careful patience, sensing that the night might be unusual but being unprepared for just how unusual it would turn out. His smile wasn't just polite, it was attentive, as if he saw her beyond the prank her friends had orchestrated. Emma blinked, caught off guard by a sense of calm in his presence that she hadn't expected. A quiet conversation started, peppered with laughter that was genuine and not performative, and she felt herself relaxing in tiny, unexpected increments. It was the first time in weeks that she had allowed herself to just breathe, without worrying about judgment or pretense. Her friends exchanged subtle glances, surprised that the joke wasn't unraveling in their favor. Somewhere deep down, Emma felt a stirring hope that maybe this night wasn't about embarrassment after all. As appetizers arrived, Daniel's son, a bright-eyed 7-year-old named Max, joined them at the table, instantly transforming the atmosphere. Emma hadn't anticipated the small boy's infectious energy, nor the way he immediately respected her presence without question. Max tugged at Daniel's sleeve, whispering a story about a school project, and Emma found herself laughing so freely she forgot the reason she had dreaded the evening. Daniel watched the interaction with a quiet pride, occasionally nodding to Max with encouragement, and Emma noticed the depth of his devotion. It was unlike anything she had expected from a man she had initially seen as a figure of authority rather than warmth. The conversation flowed effortlessly, and the trio seemed to exist in a bubble untouched by the whispers of nearby tables. Emma marveled at how natural it felt to be herself, without the pressure of performing for an audience or worrying about appearances. She realized the joke, if it still existed, had completely flipped, and the laughter now belonged to her on her own terms. Daniel's steady presence and genuine kindness began to unravel the armor she had built around herself. She started to wonder whether this blind date was the start of something far more authentic than any setup could predict. Her friends, seated nearby with drinks in hand, attempted to keep their composure, realizing that the prank had backfired in spectacular fashion. They had intended for Emma to fumble through awkward conversation, maybe spill her wine, and generally embarrass herself in front of someone seemingly untouchable. Instead, they watched her glowing, her confidence emerging in a quiet, unstoppable force. Every chuckle from Emma was a testament to her ability to reclaim the night for herself, turning what was meant to humiliate into an unexpected triumph. Daniel, oblivious to the original joke, continued to engage her with thoughtfulness, asking questions that showed a genuine interest in her life. Emma noticed how natural it felt to answer honestly, without exaggeration or facade, and it left her feeling strangely liberated. She was astonished that a man could make her feel seen in a matter of minutes, despite all the games that had led to this moment. For once, she felt that her worth wasn't measured by how she could entertain or impress others. The realization sparked a swelling warmth in her chest, a combination of relief and anticipation. She wondered if life always had a way of turning unexpected chaos into meaningful moments when least expected. The restaurant seemed to fade into the background, leaving only the connection growing quietly between them. Dessert arrived, an elaborate display of chocolate and caramel, but Emma barely touched it, her attention riveted on Daniel's storytelling about Max's school adventures. His voice was steady, confident, yet unhurried, revealing glimpses of humor and vulnerability that Emma hadn't anticipated. The way he spoke about his life, the challenges of being a single parent while running a business empire, struck her deeply. She realized how rare it was to meet someone who balanced strength with compassion so seamlessly. Daniel noticed her intense gaze and offered a shy smile, which made her heart skip a beat. For the first time in years, she felt comfortable letting herself enjoy the moment, the laughter, and the light-hearted banter that flowed naturally. Max chimed in with funny observations, and Emma found herself genuinely connecting with the child in a way she hadn't imagined. She realized that Daniel's world, demanding as it was, had room for warmth, humor, and the unexpected joy she hadn't expected to encounter tonight. The evening had shifted dramatically from a humiliating setup to a heart-stirring experience of connection and possibility. Emma felt a strange gratitude toward her friends for orchestrating the situation, even though it had started as a joke. As the night drew on, Emma's nervousness returned in tiny waves whenever she glanced at the crowd around them. She worried for a moment that the momentary magic would fade under the scrutiny of other diners. Daniel, however, seemed unbothered by anyone else's presence, his focus entirely on her and Max. That unwavering attention was both grounding and disarming, giving Emma the courage to speak more openly about her life, her dreams, and the fears she usually kept hidden. Daniel listened intently, nodding and occasionally laughing in the right places, never interrupting or judging. Emma marveled at the feeling of being fully understood, something she had rarely experienced outside the confines of a journal or close friendships. Each word shared deepened the unexpected bond forming between them, and she felt a rare sense of belonging that went beyond superficial attraction. The laughter returned effortlessly, this time unprompted and entirely authentic. Emma realized that she hadn't just survived the setup, she had transformed it into one of the most empowering nights of her life. She looked across the table and saw Daniel's calm, confident smile, and she felt an undeniable pull in her chest. As they moved to the lobby to prepare to leave, the city lights glimmering behind them, Daniel suddenly stopped, pulling Emma gently to face him. The energy shifted in a heartbeat, and a hush seemed to fall over the surrounding patrons. Emma's heart raced, unsure what to expect next, though a small intuition hinted that this moment was extraordinary. Daniel reached into his jacket pocket, and for a brief second, time seemed suspended. He looked into her eyes, his voice steady but filled with emotion, and the words that followed froze the room. He proposed. Emma's breath caught, her mind struggling to process the reality of the moment. Daniel, a man who seemed untouchable and far removed from her ordinary life, was offering her a future she had never dared to imagine. Max's wide eyes sparkled with excitement, adding an innocence and joy that made the proposal even more heart-wrenching. Emma felt tears well up, a mixture of disbelief, happiness, and overwhelming gratitude. Her friends gasped, some covering their mouths, realizing that the prank had transformed into a life-changing event. Emma's voice trembled, unable to form words, as the gravity of the night sank in fully. She finally whispered, "Yes," and the sound carried across the lobby, filling every corner with an electric, uncontainable joy. Daniel pulled her into a gentle embrace, Max jumping up and down beside them, laughter and tears mingling in a moment that would be remembered forever. Emma felt an incredible warmth, a sense of destiny unfolding despite the absurdity that had started the evening. She realized that life had an uncanny way of turning moments of humiliation into miracles when she least expected it. Her friends, still trying to process the scene, offered sheepish congratulations, their initial intentions now completely irrelevant. Emma had faced vulnerability, fear, and embarrassment, only to find love and connection beyond her wildest dreams. The proposal had turned what began as a joke into a profound affirmation of self-worth and possibility. The city outside carried on unaware, but inside, three hearts beat in perfect harmony. Emma knew that the story of her night would become a cherished memory, a tale of resilience, courage, and serendipity. In the quiet aftermath, as they stepped into a waiting car, Emma held Daniel's hand tightly, feeling the promise of a shared future warming her from the inside out. Max, perched between them, chattered excitedly about wedding plans he already imagined. Emma laughed, her heart light and unburdened, marveling at how life's unpredictability could create such extraordinary outcomes. Daniel looked at her with a tenderness that made all the fear and anxiety of the evening fade away completely. The city lights reflected in their eyes, illuminating the beginning of a story that would defy the expectations of anyone who had witnessed that first awkward setup. Emma realized that courage often looked like embracing the unknown, even when it seemed humiliating or impossible. Her friends, silent now, understood that they had witnessed something rare, a transformation not just of circumstance but of heart. Emma allowed herself to dream aloud, sharing hopes she had kept secret, and Daniel listened with unwavering support. The night had shifted from a comedy of errors to a testament to the power of authentic connection. Emma felt herself opening to life in a way she hadn't since long before fear had taken root. The drive home was filled with laughter, shared stories, and comfortable silences, each moment strengthening the bond forming between them. Emma looked out at the city passing by, the lights streaking past like memories of the night she would never forget. She realized that the embarrassment she had feared had transformed into a story of empowerment, love, and unexpected joy. Daniel occasionally glanced at her, offering small smiles and soft words, each one reinforcing the reality of the proposal. Max, ever the innocent observer, whispered plans for cake flavors and ring designs, reminding them both of the beautiful simplicity of joy. Emma's heart swelled with gratitude for life's unpredictability, for the courage to step into vulnerability, and for the reward of authentic connection. The evening had proven that even setups meant to mock could birth moments of genuine transformation. Emma felt a profound shift within herself, a newfound strength and openness to possibility. She realized that love often arrived in the most unexpected forms, demanding only honesty and courage in return. By the time the car reached her apartment, she felt a serenity she hadn't known she was capable of experiencing. At her doorstep, Daniel knelt briefly to tie Max's shoelace, an act so tender and natural it made Emma's chest ache with affection. The night had been a whirlwind of emotions, but the final moments were quiet, grounded, and perfect in their simplicity. Daniel held her gaze once more, his hand brushing gently against hers, and Emma felt the weight of promise settle comfortably over her. Max waved with a grin, whispering, "Good night," and Emma felt a twinge of longing already for the next time they would be together. They exchanged goodbyes, but the warmth lingered, a subtle current threading through her chest and mind. As she closed her door behind her, Emma leaned against it, savoring the stillness and the overwhelming gratitude for the extraordinary turn of events. The night had begun as a setup, a potential embarrassment, yet it had blossomed into a life-altering moment of love, acceptance, and hope. Emma realized that sometimes, life demanded only the courage to show up, and in doing so, it would reward beyond imagination. She felt an unmistakable clarity: vulnerability was not weakness, and being true to oneself could lead to miracles. For the first time in years, Emma went to bed with a heart unburdened and a spirit soaring. The following days were filled with reflection and a growing excitement that could not be contained. Emma replayed the night in her mind, noticing how each tiny decision, each word spoken, had led to a moment of unexpected joy. She marveled at Daniel's quiet strength, his ability to balance authority and tenderness, and how effortlessly he had made her feel safe. Max's laughter echoed in her thoughts, a reminder of the pure, unfiltered love that had cemented the connection between them. Emma began to understand that life's curveballs often held lessons far greater than immediate discomfort or embarrassment. Her friends, once orchestrators of a joke, now became witnesses to a story of love and courage, realizing the depth of Emma's resilience. She found herself sharing the tale cautiously, savoring the disbelief and admiration of those who listened. Emma's own heart swelled with pride, knowing that she had turned vulnerability into empowerment and fear into possibility. The proposal remained etched vividly in her memory, a turning point where life had pivoted in a way she could never have planned. She felt ready for the journey ahead, embracing love, family, and the serendipitous power of showing up fully. Each day, the bond with Daniel and Max strengthened, a testament to trust, courage, and genuine connection. Weeks later, Emma and Daniel met to plan their engagement celebration, their conversations flowing easily like old friends reconnecting. They laughed over the initial setup, acknowledging the absurdity of how their story had begun. Yet, neither of them could deny the serendipity that had brought them together, a reminder that life's unexpected turns often lead to the most profound outcomes. Emma felt a growing confidence in her ability to navigate the challenges ahead, knowing that love rooted in authenticity could withstand even the most unpredictable circumstances. Max, now fully invested in the wedding planning, offered opinions on everything from music to cake, filling the room with warmth and laughter. Daniel admired Emma's insight and humor, feeling a deep respect that went beyond infatuation. They spoke of the future, dreams, and aspirations, feeling a sense of partnership that neither had anticipated so suddenly. Emma reflected on how fear and hesitation had given way to trust and courage, each step leading to a moment of genuine magic. She realized that life often demanded surrender, a willingness to be vulnerable and open to whatever came next. The night of the proposal had been a gift, but the life they were building together was an even greater one. Emma's friends, once architects of a joke, became her biggest cheerleaders, inspired by the unexpected love story that had unfolded. They marveled at how Emma had handled herself with grace and authenticity, turning what could have been humiliation into triumph. Emma found herself more confident, resilient, and open to the possibilities life offered, realizing the power of embracing risk and uncertainty. Daniel's gentle strength became her anchor, and Max's laughter her reminder of life's purest joys. Each moment together, whether ordinary or extraordinary, solidified a bond rooted in honesty, love, and mutual respect. Emma understood that life's most meaningful experiences often arose from the unplanned and unpredictable, a lesson she would carry forever. She felt gratitude for the initial prank, now seen as a catalyst that had led to the greatest chapter of her life. Emma realized that showing up, despite fear and uncertainty, could lead to outcomes beyond imagination. In the quiet moments of reflection, she understood that love, in its truest form, required vulnerability, courage, and trust. The story of that night became her guiding light, a reminder that even in moments of doubt, extraordinary possibilities awaited. Months passed, and Emma found herself falling deeply, irrevocably in love with both Daniel and Max. Each day revealed new facets of their relationship, from shared laughter to quiet support during challenges. Emma realized that love was not a single grand moment but a series of choices, small gestures, and unwavering commitment. Daniel continued to balance his demanding career with fatherhood, never losing sight of the importance of presence, empathy, and honesty. Max thrived in the warmth of their growing family, and Emma marveled at the unexpected completeness of their lives together. The night of the proposal, once a shocking twist in her story, became a symbol of courage, chance, and life's unpredictable beauty. Emma knew that challenges would come, but the foundation they had built was strong, resilient, and full of hope. She cherished the transformation she had undergone, from nervous vulnerability to empowered self-assurance. Life had taught her that sometimes, the most unexpected setups led to the most extraordinary outcomes. Emma embraced the journey, knowing love had chosen her in ways she could never have orchestrated alone. On the morning of their engagement announcement, Emma sat with a cup of coffee, reflecting on the extraordinary journey that had brought her here. She smiled at the memory of that first glance, that first laugh, and the quiet strength that had held them together through uncertainty. Daniel appeared beside her, a reassuring hand on her shoulder, and Max bounded in with boundless energy, reminding her of life's endless possibilities. Emma realized that she had been transformed, not just by love, but by the courage to be herself in the face of fear. The engagement announcement would be shared with friends and family, but the real story was the one she held in her heart, a tale of resilience, authenticity, and unexpected miracles. Emma understood that life's best moments often arrived disguised as challenges, pranks, or risks, waiting for courage to reveal them. She took a deep breath, savoring the feeling of certainty, connection, and joy that had once seemed impossible. Daniel's smile mirrored her own, a quiet acknowledgement of the extraordinary journey they had embarked on together. Emma felt an overwhelming gratitude for the twists and turns that had led to this moment, knowing that love had found a way through unpredictability. And as they left the house together, laughter and hope trailing behind, she knew the night of the setup had given her the greatest gift of all, an unexpected, unshakable love.